Hello, this is Alan Wheeler, and I'm on the YouTube channel that, at least for a season, will be focusing on tarot and spirituality. And a new friend I've made in the YouTube tarot community, Branca Terra, and I can see her reply to a comment right here on my screen on a notification saying that this idea would be lovely. Uh, Asked me about how I got started in tarot, and I told her I might make a video about that. So that's my plan, to make a short video about how I got started in tarot. And to me, it's a possibly interesting story to outsiders because I came from a fairly conservative Christian place when I first began. So I'll get to that in just a minute. Let me introduce my altar here. I've got candles going. I'm going to light one more. I've got some Celtic-ish music playing, incense burning, crystals out, bamboo growing, and various things out here on my altar. And what to share today? Maybe I'll share this rock. I went to a holistic healing meeting at the Unity Church here in town, which is a nice church because they don't call themselves a church. It's a spiritual center, and they accept people from all beliefs there. But this one has a picture of a tree, and they leave these around town, and if you pick them up, it says Unity Athens Rocks, Facebook, Instagram on the back. And so that's how they advertise their little congregation a bit around town. And I keep that on my altar because I do like their philosophy of unity, although I tend just to go for Reiki and uh, healing sound circles there once a month. Okay, so there's a little altar introduction. How I got started in tarot. Well, I'm wearing my magic jacket again that I had made when I was teaching English in China for about 10 years. And it fits the theme because it was my interest in performing magic shows, magic tricks, that kind of led me down the path to tarot. So let me start with the magician aspect. About the time I met my wife in China, I got back into magic, which I had been interested in college and years before that as well. And so some things got renewed in my life as I got engaged for the first time. I was married when I was 40, I believe it was, or 41. And so I kind of got married late in life. But I met Kristen in China. She was there teaching English as well as I was doing. And when we met, we discovered we came from the same area in the United States. Not only that, but our hometowns were very close, and we had attended the same university, the same English department, had some of the same instructors and things around the same time, and we never met until we were both off in China, so we considered it a divine appointment and enjoyed that. But about that time, I began performing magic tricks, magic shows, and I did shows for the Chinese students every semester. And that went on, and I added mental magic shows, which were a kind of reenactment of mind reading a style of magic that I do. When I came back here to my hometown, I got a job teaching at a local college here, and I continued, but only performing the mental magic for psychology classes here, which I also do each semester. And I still perform my sleight of hand magic and in my own classes, usually one trick just to warm up at the beginning of class. So as I continued to study magic as a hobby mostly, and I did very few professional shows, but was kind of a resident magician again at the college, and still am. I met some magicians on forums who performed an unusual kind of magic called bizarre magic. And these are uh, shows and tricks that involve pendulums, spirit bells, tarot cards as a theme. So they're still um, very much in the performing magic community, but the themes are strange and unusual. And so I began to be interested in tarot cards that way, a passing fancy, if you will. But I talked to, maybe I won't say his name, but I corresponded with one fairly famous magician in our community, not probably not a household name or anything. But he had uh, branched off from mental magic and returned to his hometown and opened a chapel and performed readings. And he said strange things that were strange to my ears, that he would have strange vibrations, sometimes almost a sexual feeling when he was doing readings. And his language made it sound like it was spiritual and for real, not just tricks, not just card tricks. And he told me, I think probably the turning point is that he told me, stay away from the magic shops and the magic books. He said, learn from real practitioners um, and from books written by people who take tarot seriously. And in the magician community, I'm afraid those people, we, are referred to as closed eyes, um, as opposed to magicians who perform readings as tricks, some of them, um, and they're open eyes. So they don't believe in those spirits, whereas some of the tarot readers might. Well, at this point, I began reading a book called Meditations on the Tarot, A Journey into Christian Hermeticism, which eased my heart because it showed how the tarot cards were not a demonic, anti-Christian item, but could be appreciated by people of all faiths, all walks of life. And so that helped. That was a bridge for me. I even made a website posting Christian interpretations of all the tarot cards, called Christian Meditations on Tarot. And I began not corresponding, but having discussions on the Eclectic Tarot Forum. It's now defunct, but I met friends like Jadi, and the Empress was the handle or the code name there. And various people helped me learn about reading tarot and learn the tarot cards and lots of details about tarot as an avocation, and many of them were professional readers as well. But almost the hardest thing in my life was breaking the ice and asking my wife, Kristen, if I could actually order a physical deck of tarot cards. And I had worked through the theology and the rationale and talked it through with her, but it was very, very difficult for me. But I couldn't just I couldn't sleep at night if I was sneaking around doing it, something for long there. So finally, she agreed, and things took off from there. And the Eclectic Tarot Forum, when it closed down, I moved over with the mass exodus of orphans there, refugees, to the Cartomancy Forum. And I think since they've many have gone to different forums and different places, but I met a friend there named Lafayette who he watches some of these videos, I think. If you are Lafayette, leave a comment below. And we worked through all the cards in Tarot of Vampires, and we're now doing a new open journal comparing various decks. And I have my own personal daily draw journal there. He does as well. And so I have other friends in the online world. And then recently, of course, I began making YouTube videos about tarot. I've done some readings for people at work, and I read for myself here. So that is my start in tarot. And other videos explain what decks I have and what books are my favorites and that kind of thing. So I'll stop here, but thank you for watching. And Branca Tara, thank you for the viewer request, or we should call it a request of a friend now, I think. So as always, I hope anyone watching feels connection with friends, family in the real world, with the online community, and on your spiritual path, whatever it may be. Take care.